Hello, everybody, and welcome back to The Beats. I am your host, Kelly Kennedy, and I am very fortunate to be able to share my tribe as I travel across the globe and meet incredible scientists and doctors and all sorts of practitioners and continue to expand that tribe to help engage and encourage and empower you to learn how your body really works. Because what we know from our heart to yours is that you have all the innate wisdom inside you to heal, and that our job is naturally oriented therapists, medically enlightened doctors and specialists available here at Not Meds Global. The Beats podcast is about helping you understand that you have that power inside and what you need to do to help engage it, to constantly upregulate your ecosystem. Thank you so much for being part of our community. If this resonates with you, please go ahead and share this episode. We are always open to your comments and your questions as always. And welcome back to this week's episode of The Beats. Welcome back to The Beats with Kelly Kennedy, and I am very, very grateful and honored to introduce you all to my very good friend, soul sister, and colleague, Dr. Nicole Rothman. She too is a Trinity of the year 23, and if you don't know what that means, you don't listen long enough and well enough to what's going on in my life. But that being said, we are so happy to have Dr. Nicole Rothman here. She is an incredible practitioner and doctor of functional medicine, trained as a chiropractor. She works down and lives down in Florida at Boynton Beach, and she is certainly an agent of change, and she teaches so many great things. And we're here to talk today about her book and an upcoming thing that she has going on in January that you can all take part in. And I'm just so happy that everybody gets to finally meet you, Nicole. Thank you so much for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having me. I love you. You're amazing. And I'm grateful to be here.
So let's just dive in. Let's tell your story a little bit about how you became, like you were a standard chiropractor, and then what changed to make you an agent of change.
Well, I've always been an agent of change, and I never fit in anywhere in my life. When I look back, I was trained for this since I was a baby. And I actually was born very, standard, knock them out, drag them out. My mother has no idea how I came out, but it wasn't a C-section. And my life began with ear infections and allergies and formula fed. And so not a great start, but my mother was extremely paranoid because she had lost her first child a few days old. So every sniffle, every little thing, I was at the pediatrician and I was on antibiotics by the time I was 5. I had tubes in my ears. 6, they did it again. Next thing you know, it's allergy shots for 10 years. And then finally I was diagnosed with asthma. So by the time I went to college, like what else could I want to do but become a doctor, because I spent my whole life around them, unhealthy, not really understanding that, but thinking that I would be helping other kids just like me. And so I wanted to do that. And in college, I had a total awakening myself in my senior year because I was volunteering in a hospital. I was an EMT. And I said, I don't want to do this. I don't want to spend the next 10 years of my life this way. And I don't know how that came to me, but I just knew. And I was really into working out and eating a certain way, but it was always because I was a chubby kid and I always was dieting. So it interested me when I saw Life College, when a friend showed me the brochure that talked about sports health science and nutrition. And there were just some key words that really drew me in. And, we don't always realize our path is so laid out for us. It's amazing. But looking back, I know that I was supposed to go through all that I went through, because when I went to chiropractic school, I had never even been to a chiropractor.
I love that about her story. It's like, and Life College is the chiropractic school. There's only 5 in the country, and Life is one of the best. And so when you said Life College, I thought some people might not know what that is, but I love that part of her story. I never even had an adjustment before, but I was enrolling in chiropractic school.
I just kind of went with the flow of life, and that's how I was. And it always worked really well for me because I always achieved what I wanted to, which was a plus. But I thought everyone was absolutely crazy when I got there. Like, the power that made the body heals the body. What the hell are they talking about? As I'm throwing back pills and sprays and steroids. And I was really, so unhealthy, and my skin was horrible. I had terrible periods, like miserable periods. Every month I was tortured with a day of miserable pain. I could never lose weight. It didn't matter how much I exercised, what I cut out or did. And guess what? I got into a car accident while I was in school, and I started getting adjusted. And my life was never the same again. It was completely transformed. And I actually had network spinal chiropractic. Network chiropractic is what it was called at the time. It's network spinal analysis now. There's some other names that have come about, but it was life changing, spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, like just every level of my life transformed as I threw away the medications and I went on a path of understanding detox and nutrition and just all the different things that I now have kind of put together and advanced it since then, because I was completely scattered and like throwing things against the wall to see what would help me. I would try anything and everything to get well because I was so committed once I realized that I could. And the more I did outside the box and the less I did conventional, the healthier I became. I got off every medication, and that's where the agent of change came. Now, the first 18 years of my practice in chiropractic was what a lot of people would think would be awesome, like family practice. Saw lots of kids, pregnant women. I worked I was in the office, I think 18 hours a week. I'd take 3-hour lunches. It was pretty good, right? But I wasn't fulfilled because they just wanted me to fix them or fix their kid, or no one wanted to do what they needed to do to have wellness, like real wellness on their own. And my feeling was if they did those things, they wouldn't need so much chiropractic care. And I do still believe that, even though I love chiropractic, I would never go without it. And it got me here, and I'm so grateful for that. But I realized that's fine for other people to be doing. And now I really have gotten into what they call it functional medicine. It's a term that's a hot button now, but I never called it that. To me, it was just living your healthiest lifestyle possible and learning everything that you can to be empowered, to be in control of your health and your life ultimately, because you know what health does when you don't have it. So that's really how the story began. And I did have like a major change. I don't know if I ever shared this with you about the shoulder reconstruction. Did I even share that with you?
Yes, you did. Yes, when we were together in Utah. But tell them, it's a great story. But before you do, I just want to clarify a couple things.
Okay.
One is I give you a ton of credit because, like so many true passionate, I don't like the word healers because we're not healers, but we assist facilitators of healing.
Agents of change.
Agents of change. You didn't just get stuck, if you will, and, oh, this is my modality. This is my modality. You went, wait a second, this is great and all, but it's not passionate enough for me, because people are just coming in, fix me because I'm broken. And you're like, there's more to it, right? And we call it foundational living, bioregulatory living, where we constantly upgrade our world so that our body has to do less of the accommodations for the world that we live in, so we can thrive and optimize. Right. And that's exactly, car accident 23 years ago, she started her practice. Come on. Do you see the similarities here? By the way, she dresses up as Trinity as well. I think we should add, if you're willing to, that awesome little clip you sent me. I love that.
Well, you could play it. I'm okay with it. Whatever.
I love it. It's amazing.
It is, that was funny.
It's funny. She's got a great sense of humor. And, what I really respect about Nicole is that she doesn't give up, and she really allows her clients to empower themselves so they're not dependent upon an adjustment. And that being said, both of us have chiropractors on our team. It's one of the tools that we use. We're not dependent upon it, supplements or anything else to feel well, because of all the things. It's all of the things. Not that you have to do all the things today, just make a little progress, just keep closing the gaps.
Yes.
So, okay. So go to the shoulder.
Yeah, it is all of the things. But that's the thing, in the world we live in today, you have to do most of these things just to be moderately healthy, because it's so toxic on every level, physical, chemical, and emotional. Like, it's just a toxic world. Sadly, yes, I focus on gratitude and all the good things. I don't watch the news or get all caught up. But the truth is, it's much harder than it was 100 years ago
Yeah.
because of all those things. And so it is really, really important to incorporate everything that you can and learn more, and always try to, as you said, kind of upgrade it, and allowing your body to continue adapting in this world and thriving.
Yeah.
And so, and it's funny when you say the word that I've overcome, like, I feel like that's a book that's coming out of me, is something like overcoming, because I really believe I'm a vessel of lessons and learning of what I need to next do to help people. Like, I literally go through things physically that I'm supposed to learn about so that I can help people that now need my help on that. And so, one of the things, though, I have a very powerful mindset, which, Kelly, it is really like nothing else can really happen without it. I really believe it's the foundation of everything. And when in 2017, I actually had a dislocating shoulder that didn't affect a whole lot, but it would come out of the socket occasionally. And I learned how to just, get it back in. But one day it just couldn't take it anymore. I actually threw a bag of carrots because I was angry at my husband because he was pissing me off. I was about to start to teach a class and he wanted to talk to me about something that I just couldn't deal with at the time. And so I got annoyed, and it was a cooking class. So I threw the carrots on the floor and I'm like, I got to get prepared, whatever. And it dislocated and it just destroyed the whole inside of the joint. It was just too many times. And so this was a really scary, stressful time, as someone that my primary practice was chiropractic at that point. And I was just starting to move into more of what we call functional medicine as a part of my practice officially. I didn't know what I was doing yet, and I hadn't figured out how. And I actually couldn't adjust for 9 months. I had to have reconstructive surgery with the bone grafts and all kinds of crazy stuff so that I can, do what I do now. But I decided, instead of, being all destroyed by this and what am I going to do? Should I sell my practice? Do I go on? Because ultimately I wasn't fulfilled. Right. If I didn't feel that this was right, then I wasn't fulfilled, even though it looked good and I had a good life. So I took that as a gift, that time. And I truly am grateful that this happened, actually, because I wasn't doing it myself. And I had all my goals on a big Post-it note and the whole thing, and I hadn't been doing it. And I believe the universe went and just kicked it out of place for me, get my butt in gear. And then I just completely revamped and kind of worked backwards from what I really wanted into how I needed to do it. And, I got coaches and people to help me, to support me on that. And it has been like the best 4.5 years ever of my practice. I just am so grateful that happened, because we're helping people the way I always knew that we could, the way I always wanted to.
More comprehensive approach, right? More than just getting adjusted to how they can change your lifestyle. And I would imagine your reach is much larger, because now, instead of the 10-mile radius of Boynton Beach, Florida, you have clients all over the world that seek your advice and follow your programs and read your books and do your fast with you and change their lifestyle and empower themselves to live that healthy lifestyle and continue to optimize, which is what we're all about, right?
That's right. I don't do a whole lot of chiropractic adjustments anymore. I'm, really, this is what I need to be doing. And I refer to whoever needs to be referred. And I have my few that still come in that I, just can't say no to. But I'm not, like, it's just is amazing, the reach that we get to have in this virtual world and being able to help people that never could have even found us before. It's so amazing. It's just such a fabulous thing that we're not confined to our area anymore for anything. And it really is so much more. I'm so much happier and more gratified. And even my husband now runs my practice. So it's amazing for him to be a part of it. And he's just blown away by the things that we get to see every day and people transforming their own lives. So
and as a mom, I would imagine too that you would say that you're probably a better mom because you have more flexibility than being, and a better understanding or better ability to help them, even though often kids aren't the ones that want to take our help. Ask my 8-year-old.
well,
No,
my
Mom, don't
kids
move
are
my
adults.
lips.
They're
Yeah,
adults.
kids are
So,
adults.
you know, they have, it's funny because they have shown me in different ways what they've taken from how they were raised and all that. But my hope now just for them is to live their true passion and to be happy regardless of what that looks like. And so because I just see the difference in my level of happiness just because I'm doing it my way now.
Right. It's great. Everybody needs to find their passion and not be like, you know, I prayed long ago to the universe because I, like Dr. Nicole, was very much an experiential spiritual learner is what some of us call it. Kinetic spiritual learner that's like, oh, give her physical ailments, problems, issues to overcome so she gets the lesson. And I've said to God so many times, like, I'm good. Just like all you have to do is whisper. I'll start to pay attention. You don't need to hit me upside the head with a baseball bat anymore. I don't need broken arms and broken legs and broken backs and scars on my head to figure out all this spirituality. And I really do think that has worked because I'm getting my lessons much softer and gentler. And, you know,
well, I've been asking and I'm still getting them. So can you give me the hint?
There's a lag time. There's a little bit of lag time.
I've been asking for a while.
Just keep having faith, just as you will. Just keep having faith. So tell us about your book. I mean, first of all, I love the title of your book, right? Because you'll understand so many reasons why we align, but please give them the title of your book.
My book is Awaken Wellness, Taking Back the Power to Control Your Own Health. And this is what it looks like. And to me, the butterfly stands for transformation. That's what it's there for. Because I do feel that's what I did. I know what it took to get there. And I see people do that every day. And so my book is really a blueprint of what we use in my practice. It's a very systematic approach that we use that is repeatable, reproducible, and the results, it's just amazing over and over. So it's broken down in these kind of like pillars, these areas that we really focus on. And it has grown, even though the book came out about a little over a year ago. There's always more to learn, more to add, but it really gives a deeper dive into the things that we're doing here. So yeah, I'm really proud of it. It was took me 10 years after I made the goal to get it done, but it came out in 2020. I couldn't even do like a party. I'm like, come on, we're still talking about when are we having the book signing party? But it was awesome. It did become an Amazon bestseller the first day it came out. So I'm just really proud of it.
Awesome. And can you give us like 2 pillars from your book that you would start with? Like what is your approach? Somebody calls you, they want to start working with you, they're virtual. Like what are the 2 or 3 first pillars, if you would, to give us an idea?
Yeah, I do everything all at once, quite honestly, except for fitness. That's the only one that I actually don't incorporate. I mean, it is there, but moving your body, it matters. Don't get me wrong, but so many people come and they have no energy. They're not sleeping. Their body hurts. They're so foggy. They just are totally unmotivated. It's unrealistic to try to get somebody like that, or they're, having pains or whatever. Unrealistic. So I like to also meet people where they are. So fitness is usually one of those things. They get well without fitness. Don't tell anyone. They do. They do. That's why it drives me crazy when it's all the eat right and exercise and you'll be healthy. It's like, that's why we're having so many health issues. No one knows what the heck you're talking about, even when you say eat healthy and exercise. So I think
I want that to land on people. That is so key because, we're both competitive athletes as well. And, I loved exercising until I couldn't. And when my health was taken from me in the car accident and I wasn't able to lift, I was depressed because I didn't know how to get that endorphin hit. And I would show up to practice just to get like the ether, I think, for my team, even though I couldn't practice.
Yeah.
And it became this thing that for the next however many years, decade probably, before I could really understand movement versus exercise.
Yeah.
And now I don't even call it movement therapy. I'm just like, do you move your body? I don't care if it's lifting a box and walking up the steps with it, walking your dog. Oftentimes, Dr. Nicole and I talk on Thursday mornings while I'm walking my dog while she's doing walking, because we're just moving. Or I'm doing my yoga poses or whatever. I don't even call it yoga, but it's just a matter of like getting that body to move and knowing that that in itself is healthier than going to the gym for 3 hours and pounding it out when I don't really have the energy to do it. I don't have the desire to do it. I don't like being in a building. I don't like being under the lights. Versus walk in nature for 20 minutes is going to be more beneficial than trying to pound out and pump iron.
Yeah.
And that's not for everybody. Depends, again, she said, as where you're at. And the majority of the clients that we meet to this point are chronic illness, chronic pain, and they're not able to motivate to do that. So, you know, we're not giving you the excuse to not move your body at not at all.
No.
We're just saying reframe that whole concept of what that looks like, because that is such a valid point. Thank you for bringing that up.
You're welcome. But I do tell people, when you are feeling better, when you do have the energy, I think for me, what I've really found, I love, you know, all types of movement really matter, but just knowing, because I'm very sciencey, biologist, like I just like data, you know, and I know that after age 35, we do start losing muscle. So we do need to put it back on. And as those decades go by, it does accelerate. So I just tell people it's not a big deal, but once you can, when you're ready, we do need to start putting a little bit of muscle on the body so you can dress yourself, drive yourself, eat, feed yourself, wipe yourself. Like no one wants to have someone take care of them. So it does matter for the long haul, for the, you know, road ahead. But yes, for that immediate, it just is the last of the pillars that matter. And I would say, you know, I do go after all of them simultaneously. I also love when people have some quick wins. So changing the diet and the detoxification process, which is a minimum of 90 days. It's usually much longer depending on the person and what they have to deal with. But those things get the fastest changes that get people healthier. First of all, of course, is the goal, functioning at a higher level, but also it helps them mentally keep at it. And so I would say those are the first areas we start. And then, you know, while we're getting labs and things like that to figure out what we need to do more customized to them.
So you make some recommendations for food, you make some recommendations for movement, and then you look at the last element, which was what?
No, we start detoxing first. Number one is detox. That's like immediate. And then we start making.
And drainage, right? Because I'm sweating over here. Drainage and detox, drainage and detox.
Yeah, well, we do. I mean, listen, we have, we beg people, get your castor oil packs. I share your video, your lymph, poke, 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 poke. Yeah. I know we share it with them, we teach them, but you know, getting them to comply is the hardest, but they do it and they do see the difference. It makes such a big difference. And that's why movement matters as well, because it gets everything moving. But you know, that's to me, that's part of the detox bubble.
Right.
You know, anything, Epsom salt baths or dry brushing, you know, coffee enemas. We teach people how to do all of those things. And, you know, I always tell people, like, I'm not going to ask you to do something I wouldn't do myself. So that's too hypocritical. I have to be in integrity. So I'm not going to tell people to do coffee enemas if I'm not doing them. Right. Right. So I do them. I do all of those things and more. And they all have been so helpful. But to me, I think the biggest piece that we start also in addition is we take people through an educational curriculum. They watch videos and we have live classes, which I've recorded so many that I could just play recordings, but I actually still love teaching classes. My team, they also teach classes, and we do everything from time management, self-care, stress management, fear. We do classes on fear, face everything and rise is the name of the class. You know, that's all the mindset. I do one that's called Tools for Long-Term Success. It's all mindset. we teach that one in November because the holidays are coming. I mean, the reality is people are human. They're going to want to go and have fun on the holidays. So it's just being realistic with people and giving them other ways and problem solving so that they can be on their own and not need us. Because it's what I want for everyone is their health independence. It's what I really want.
And that's where another place we align, because, you know, as I'm listening to her, I'm thinking to myself, the people that are listening to us are like, you know, Kelly, yeah, I know, we know all this. We've heard this on your podcast for a year and a half. And that's the point. The point is that there is no new information really. You know, I remember listening to Dr. Rao stand in front of a class with Ayn and I. We had already done his two-year internship. We had already done so many of his other, you know, one-off classes. And we had, once again, he was coming to the States. So we sat in front of his class and he started like on Sunday morning after Saturday and Sunday. He literally looked at I in the front row. He's like, I'm so sorry, but there's no new information that I have to give you. It's remove the interference fields, upregulate the ecosystem. That's all we got. And, you know, and that's what we want people to realize. This isn't difficult. But it does take responsibility and action from you. Like she said, castor oil packs, dry brushing, Epsom salt baths, coffee enemas, manual lymph pumping. These aren't things you have to go to a center for. You might need to go to someone, obviously, to get a subluxation handled through network chiropractic or whatever form of chiropractic your practitioner is using, or acupuncturist, or, you know, go get an IV and upregulate your system with good quality vitamin C that's non-GMO, sourced, good quality vitamin C, not at the IV. I don't know what the fast food IV places are that aren't using good quality vitamin C. We're going to do a podcast on that coming up, but you know, just understand that you have the power. And that is what her book, Awaken Wellness and Take Back Power to Control Your Own Health. That is the point of my podcast as well. When COVID hit and I was like, what's going on? Don't you guys know how your immune system works?
Right.
I thought we were educating people. Maybe we don't do it fast enough, which is why we want this to be shared, because you do not have to be dependent upon a practitioner, a supplement, a mask, or a jab to get your immune system. You have that power inside you. That is what we're completely about. So let's talk to us about what's happening in January so that people can get a good start. First of all, her class in November, and you can find we'll give all your information at the end, but it's Dr. Nicole Rothman, drnicole.com. She's on Instagram as Dr. Nicole Rothman. She's on YouTube as Dr.
Nicole Rothman.
Very easy to spell. Very simple on us all. And
Facebook is Dr. Nicole 444.
Oh, okay.
And my practice, Rothman Health Solutions, but I couldn't get the Dr. Nicole Rothman. Someone had it already. I was like, what? And actually there's someone in another town that's like a psychologist or something not far from here that has my name with it. Yeah. I'm like, that's weird.
She picked 444 because she's all about synchronicities. Yes. And so in January, tell them about what's going on that people can take advantage of.
Oh, well, this is the best way to really get in touch with your innate intelligence and allow it to completely take over and do what it needs to do. And that is water fasting. And I do, like you, feel that the innate is where it's all about, that innate wisdom, but interferences get in the way. And when you are water fasting, it just takes a lot of that out of the picture, and you're just solely relying on your body's innate wisdom to adapt you to this situation that you're putting your body in. It is a stress. It's a good stress, but it's a stress. So basically I do a class for 4 weeks that leads into a 5-day group. It's done as a group water fast. And I teach you different ways. You don't have to do water, but some people like to do things like bone broth or fasting mimicking. So I do give you different options, but most people, after they go through this class with me, they do the water fast because they're empowered, they're sure, they're on purpose, and they want to be successful, and they just do it. And I prepare them, and we prepare our bodies just like you would train for a marathon. We train for this fast. So we get our bodies ready and get it in shape so that we can take this on and still work and go through our day and not just be like laying in a lump in the corner, not eating for 5 days. And truly being successful, it is one of the most empowering things besides water birthing my son that I have ever done in my life, because we're so attached to food. and it's emotional as well as physical. And so people really get to understand, like, wow, I didn't realize just, how I don't need it. I just don't need it. And it's amazing. And it's so healing. It's phenomenal to heal your body. It can shift autoimmunity. It changes your microbiome into a totally different state. I mean, people, of course, are going to lose weight during that. But if you do it the right way, you can implement it as a strategy for continued weight loss. Autophagy, cell recycling, stem cell production is huge at the end, growth hormone surges. It's absolutely incredible. And I'm excited because I haven't done one. I was doing them every month for about 6 months. And then I was like, okay, once a quarter.
Yeah.
And now I got really tired of it. And then because I was just decided, I'm just going to do this every month and see what happens. When I started doing it going back to my shoulder, that's when I started doing it, because after a year and a half after that surgery, I was still having so much pain, and knowing that my body can heal from anything, I wasn't very satisfied with the results that I was getting with the PT and all the things I was trying to do. So I did a 5-day fast, and I never had the pain again. I mean, I would just be using my mouse for a few hours and I would have the pain. So it went away, and that was it. I was like, I'm sold. I'm doing one of these every month. And then I started teaching people how to do it, right?
I'm like, what else can I like do? Me. It works. Must be more is better.
Yeah, right. It was a little much. You don't really need to do that. I think a great strategy is twice a year for people. Yeah. Some people like to do it when the seasons are changing. I think that's really awesome too, because we adapt with our environment, right? We're not disconnected. We're connected to nature and the environment, and the seasons changing. So I like those times to do it. But this one is January 6th. The class starts, and actually it's really fun. We meet, it's a group Zoom. We meet every Thursday night for 4 weeks, and I just guide you through. And that last week together, we all fast. There's a Facebook group, so we can all communicate in there during the fasting and support each other. And
the support is huge. Doing something like that and having support, Yeah. In the times that I've done fasting, or even, purification diets and so forth, it's so much easier when you have an accountability partner. Yeah. It's so much, just like anything in life. It's like you think that you're the only one going through whatever it is you're going through until you find your community. And not that misery loves company. We know that, but this is more about, hey, we can do this too. Look, I felt that way and I overcame it this way. And here are the tools that I used. And just having that community. I mean, now more than ever, we know how much community matters and how much it creates oxytocin and endorphin and dopamine and serotonin in our bodies. So having that community while you're going through the autophagy, while you're going through the detoxification, while your body's creating stem cells and really resetting. And, the January is a great month to reset. That doesn't mean we give permission to just live, sloppy lifestyles in November, December. Yet it is a way to, kind of reset for the year 2022 and just step into it. I know what I have going on in January, and I actually think that maybe I can be part of it. I in the midst of that, I have my birthday, and one of the things I give myself every year for my birthday is a gluten-free chocolate cake. So maybe I just push it off till after my birthday.
What day is your birthday?
The 22nd of January. So
that's right. The 22nd. You said the 22nd.
So we'll be like in the midst of it, Her birthday's on the 23rd, right? Your birthday's on the 23rd.
Mine's December 23rd.
December 23rd. She's a 23 all the way around. So anyway,
I wanted to do it in November. I wanted to get people doing things before the holidays, but I was like, people aren't going to want to do it. So I
really want to do it. I have Joe Dispenza. I'm going to do Joe Dispenza for a week that month as well. So it's a perfect time to like reset.
Oh yeah.
And then we'll just push out. We'll have to celebrate my birthday, Nicole, in February rather than January. I'm in.
That sounds like a plan.
I'm in.
All right, good.
I definitely want to do that. I've never done a water fast, and I've wanted to do one, but I've never really been support. Like, I'm not doing that by myself because I don't have enough wherewithal to put it in my schedule to make it happen. So this will help me make it happen. So who's in with me? If you're going to join us, comment down here on the podcast, and we'll make sure that we all stick together for this and that we stay committed to this and accountable to this, because why not? Whatever. It's chocolate cake. I can push it off to January. That's really the only thing I care about. I cannot eat food the rest of the year. Just my gluten-free chocolate cake that I make every year is amazing.
Oh my gosh.
The only thing that I
can only
make,
imagine.
really. But anyway, so I got sidetracked because we started talking about fasting and then I went right to chocolate cake somehow. But it's all about the 80-20 rule, right? It's about really, or maybe 90-10. I probably live 90-10 like you do. But it's really about enjoying life too, right? Fasting is good, but at the end of it, I'm going to look forward to my reward and pushing my reward off. And for me, my birthday is a celebration every single year because it's the best. I'm so thankful to my mother, my father for getting me here and all the extra effort my mother had to get me here with her extended pregnancy and C-section that she had to go endure for me to live. And I'm super grateful for her and I'm super grateful for my life because I feel like it's a magic carpet ride. I want everybody to join it with me and know the power that of all the lessons that we've learned, that you can heal anything you want.
Yeah.
You just have to have complete allowance of that and complete faith in it. So I have one more question for you.
Yes.
Well, first of all, is there anything else you want to share with the community before I ask you the question?
No, go for it.
Thank you so much for your time. So in your 23 years, love that's your number, in your 23 years of your practice and living your life throughout all of your life, if you could have a microphone and say, okay, I get to talk to the 7.6 billion people on this earth, what is the secret that you would want to share with them about how to live a vibrant, happy, healthy, full of joy, full of passion life that you do not only lead others through, but embody yourself?
You're loved way more than you know. And gratitude is going to guide you through your entire life. And if you could just have that understanding, then it doesn't matter if it's health, if it's, relationships, if it's the car that you really want, whatever it is. I really, really believe if we can just find that in alignment with, the universal love that's there for us and how we feel about ourselves. And it is a battle for all of us. And it is. But I think as we can move closer and closer to that, you can literally achieve anything. And for me, I obviously focus on how to help people get to their health, but it isn't just about health. It's just about being happy, living your best life. And I really, really believe that could change the world if we just recognize that. And, I know we're here, all of us, for a reason. And, a lot of stuff is going on in the world right now that is taking our power. And so my message about taking the power back to control your own health is it's a little bit bigger than it sounds, because you have the power to do anything in your life, anything. And so just understanding that it really resides within us all to have whatever we're looking to have, whether it's healing your body, or, finding the love of your life or whatever, that as long as you can try to get in that alignment, find that love and gratitude and really be clear on what you're looking to achieve, I know you can get it.
That's very beautifully wise. And thank you so much for that. I recently have, in the mornings, instead of just doing a silent meditation, I spend about 5 minutes reaffirming things to myself that I know are true to help me remember that. Because I think, like you said, and feel that sometimes my mental critic inside me, oh, you didn't do this, you didn't do that, you could have said that better, you could have performed better there, you could have, whatever. In order to gain a better version and vision of ourselves, we have to first look at our mirror and see it, and reminding ourselves with gratitude of all the things that are going right. And I would highly recommend that everybody do a little gratitude journal. I'm sure Dr. Nicole could guide you through that, or we could help guide you through that. A gratitude journal, and just start every morning with what are you grateful for? And the number one thing you can be grateful for is you woke up. 100,000 people did not wake up today, and we did. And that's powerful and that's amazing. And when you have incredibly intelligent, giving, passionate friends, colleagues that not only support you, but support this world of change, like Dr. Nicole, there's a lot to be thankful for. And I'm certainly grateful for you as a friend, for you as a colleague, for your time today, for all the work that you do that's so truly heart-centered. And I pray that you remain to be impactful as you are and funny as you are, and just have an amazing, amazing rest of the year. And I'll look forward to being with you on your class in January. Thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. I love you. I told you at the beginning, you're awesome. You are my soul sister. I'm so happy to have your friendship and to have you in this world as well. So keep doing what you're doing. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you. So that's it for today on The Beats. Everybody, please share your comments and your questions. And thank you all for your attendance and your engagement in not only this podcast, but in the work that we do and living your bioregulatory lifestyle. You got this. From our heart to yours. This is The Beats. Hello, and thank you so much for joining us and spending your time here with us at The Beats with your host, Kelly Kennedy. And I know today more than ever before, you now know better how your body works. And at the very least, we hope we've helped you raise some questions and help you continue to investigate. We are here to help you naturally optimize a better version and vision of yourself on every single level. And after today, you can better engage your innate intelligence and allow for proper regulation and proper regeneration. Make sure to subscribe to never miss a beat again. We hope you've enjoyed this week's episode. And just a reminder that this podcast is for educational purposes only. This podcast is not a substitute for medical advice or professional advice and care by your doctor or other qualified medical professionals. This podcast is created with the intention to provide information and education. This podcast is created with the understanding that it does not constitute professional advice or medical services. If you are looking for help in your journey and seek a qualified medical practitioner, or if you're looking for a biological, not meds practitioner, we can help you. Someone who's trained and a licensed health coach and someone that can help you make changes, especially when it comes to your health. That's what Not Meds Mission is about. I hope you have enjoyed listening again to this podcast. It's one of my favorite things to do. And if you do, please feel free to share it with your friends, your colleagues, for the tips of living the biological foundational life and living in the flow. And if you have been listening and love the show, please do leave comments. We love reading your comments. We really do. And you can subscribe to us wherever you hear your podcast. Thank you so much from our heart to yours.